Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Eldeco Housing and Industries Q1 FY22 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Lokesh Parekh from Christensen Advisory. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rayo. Good afternoon to all the participants on this call. Before we proceed to the call, let me remind you that the discussion may contain forward-looking statements that may involve known or unknown risks, uncertainties, and other factors. So it must be viewed in conjunction with our business risks that could cause future result performance or achievement to differ significantly from what is expressed or implied by such forward-looking statements. To take us through the results and answer your questions today, we have the senior management of Eldeco Housing and Industries represented by Mr. Pankaj Bajaj, CMD, and Mr. Anil Kumar Dhanda, Group CFO. We will start the call with a brief overview of the past quarter by Mr. Bajaj, followed by a Q&A session. I hope you have received the presentation and all the materials. If not, please write to us and we will be happy to share with you. So I now hand over the call to Mr. Pankaj Bajaj. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Pankaj Bajaj. I welcome all the participants to Eldeco Housing and Industries Limited Q1 FY22 earnings call. I hope you all are well. Let me start by giving you brief comments on the real estate market, specifically in the Lucknow area. Ever since we emerged out of the first lockdown last year, the residential real estate market has been showing strong signs of recovery. There is a clear demand for bigger and better houses the world over, and India is no different. The residential real estate market was long overdue for an upward correction, and the pandemic-induced lockdown has acted as a trigger. Moreover, we are seeing demand to be gravitating towards bigger and more established players in each geographic market. However, the second wave, which started from April 21, slowed the momentum down due to the lockdown-led restrictions. For 2 months, the business processes like construction, sales, or even getting routine government approvals were slowed down or completely shut. Execution was less impacted during the second wave compared to the first wave, as labor migration was significantly lower this time. However, supply chain disruptions did cause a slowdown. During this quarter, we have launched 2 projects, namely Eldeco East End, having a saleable area of around 63,000 square feet, and Eldeco Section, having a saleable area of around 67,000 square feet. 78% of East End and 100% of Section have been booked already in Q1 21. To see good sales at decent pricing in Eldeco City, Bareilly. I'm also pleased to inform you that we have received RERA approval for our Eldeco Twin Tower project within Eldeco City, Lucknow in this quarter. This weekend, which is the Saturday and Sunday just gone by, we soft launched the project, and I'm happy to report that about 25 bookings were received the very first day. I would now like to move on to our recent financial and operating performance. Quarter, we registered operating revenues of rupees 15 crores versus 20 crores in Q1 FY21 and 40 crores in Q4 FY21. The lockdown was the main reason for the drop in revenues. EBITDA for the quarter stood at rupees 6.5 crore, which would convert to a margin of 43%. And net profit for the quarter was rupees 4.7 crores, which would in turn convert to a margin of 31%. But the main takeaway for this quarter has been that though the quarter was weak in terms of execution and revenue recognition, the underlying demand trend is becoming stronger. With prudent capital allocation and focus on timely execution, we have been able to maintain a strong balance sheet. With the way the demand trend is moving, we feel that we are well placed to grab this opportunity. With that, I would now open the floor to Q&A.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask questions, please press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Priyank Gupta from Guardian Advisor. Please go ahead. Priyank Gupta from Guardian Advisors, you may go ahead with the question.
Yeah, good afternoon. I understand while reading the presentation that the average realization during the quarter was lesser than the previous quarters due to sale of EWS properties during the quarter. I just wanted to understand from the management as to how the EBITDA margin stack up in all the segments, EWS, middle income and luxury in case of our company. Thank you.
Priyank, EWS is largely a no profit, no loss kind of operation, and we are quite happy to do it that way. Sometimes we do incur a loss also in EWS because the pricing of EWS units is fixed by the government, and in case commodity prices rise and cost of construction rises, we find that it is very difficult to get the government to revise the prices directly in line with the cost escalation. So the current sale which has happened in this quarter was a liquefaction, which is a EWS product, so we don't expect any profit there. I don't expect any loss either. But for the other products, we are, as you know, we're largely in the upper middle segment of Lucknow. So we're not in luxury as defined in Lucknow, and we're not in affordable as defined in Lucknow. Our ticket price is in the range of 40 to 60, 70 lakhs. And profit margins are historically we've been working between 30 to 40%, and that's what we are maintaining at. Though I have to say that is also because we've been sitting on historical land banks. Going forward, I do expect some of these margins to compress when we replace these land banks with land at fresh prices.
So my follow-up question is, but during the quarter, still the EBITDA margins were as high as 45 to 46%. So we can
that revenue recognition is not coming from the sale which has happened in the quarter, because the sale which has happened in the quarter is Saksham EWS. That revenue recognition will happen in due course of time when it gets completed. So
and in the presentation, the average realization also is of the sales which we have done in the quarter. Oh, and not the what we have booked the revenue. Okay.
No.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to participants that you may press star and 1 to join the question queue. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask questions, you may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Aruj Gamba from Guardian Advisors. Please go ahead. Aruj, you may go ahead with the question.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. Just wanted to get a macro perspective on the industry that you broadly spoke of in your opening comments. And how is the demand now post the second wave comparative to when the first wave ebbed and there was a spurt in demand? Are we seeing it at the same pace, lesser, stronger? I mean, just if we could get some flavor on that, please.
So I can only share empirical data, and one of the lines in my opening comment was that we opened sales for a Twin Tower project last weekend, and we got 25 bookings the first day, this Sunday. And we are not of the popular perception is that there's a very strong uptrend in plotted developments. and that is what everybody has been talking about, and happily we are largely in that segment. But this Twin Tower project is a apartment complex and on the outskirts of the city. So we are seeing that the demand is now percolating into other segments of residential also, other than plotted. I can only surmise from that the demand trend is becoming stronger.
Okay.
And we are seeing that everywhere. Even our realization, though Priyank had a question that they look lower, that was because of section, but we find that even not only pricing, both pricing and velocity are much stronger going to be much stronger going forward.
Okay. And so basically you're saying from the square yard it is percolating into the square foot now basically.
It is on the built up, yes.
And our Bareilly project, how is that coming along?
So the government, I think I answered that in one of the previous con calls. There is the total sellable area that we were allowed to sell. We have already sold out. We had some remaining inventory which we sold out in this quarter. The balance inventory we can't sell till we achieve project completion, because the government has a policy. They keep some inventory back as a surety that the project will get completed. Hopefully, we will apply for completion sometime next year in the middle or second half of next year. But the prices are appreciating. We launched that product at 18,000 rupees a square yard, and the last sale we did was 27,000 rupees a square yard. That's a 50% appreciation in less than 12 months.
Wow. So that's quite heartening. I think that we've heard this on other real estate, larger, smaller, all sizes. That's what everybody is saying, that subsequent sort of sales in same older projects or completed projects are happening at a significant premium to the last round, and that obviously is on account of buoyant demand and like you said, the reasons that you gave for the demand. Yeah, thank you. So basically, is it safe to assume that in this quarter, I don't want any forward-looking guidance, that the sales momentum will be much more healthy, and the OC certificates are now coming a bit easier now, or is it still challenging? Is that happening at a quicker pace now?
No, so you asked me two questions. The first part is about the launches. Yes, we have already launched Twin Towers, and then after we are done with Twin Towers, maybe sometime next month we'll launch our mini township Eldeco Imperia, which is the next project in the EHL portfolio. So there are two launches in this quarter, and that was we are quite excited and confident about both of them. Regarding the second part, I don't have a very happy report to give to you. OCs are not actually coming on time. The government processes are still not functioning smoothly. The hangover of Corona, COVID, lockdown, it's still very slow, and there's so much backlog. I am sure that other companies are also reporting the same. The pace of government approvals is really slowed down. So we hope that in the next 2-3 months this will get resolved. But as of now, I don't have a happy report to give you there.
Oh, okay. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you. A reminder to participants that you may press star and 1 to ask questions. The next question is from the line of Manish Sharma, who's an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Manish Sharma. I'm an individual investor. I have a couple of questions to ask from the company management. My first question is, what is the idle inventory at the moment company is having? My second question is, coming to the future prospects, we see most of the projects are coming only in Lucknow and the nearby area. When we talk about the pan-India operations, what are your plans to go beyond UP or say beyond northern India? Do you have any chances to go towards south, eastern side, western side? And my last question is, any chances of split and bonus since the share price is quite high? So just to increase the volumes in the shares, any chances of bonus and the split? Thank you.
So the first question was about inventory. I didn't get it completely, but we have circulated a presentation. If you don't have it, we'll ask our advisors to send you one. So I think that shares very transparently what our completed inventory is. It's about 4.5 lakh square feet is completely completed inventory. Ongoing projects, we have inventory about 5 lakh square feet, and then the forthcoming projects. So that split is there in the presentation, so we'll have it sent to you. So I think that will answer your first question. The second question is that new projects are coming in Lucknow. So Manish, let me remind you, this is a Lucknow company. This is not a pan-India company. This is a Lucknow company. This is not a pan-India company.
I know, sir. I know. Yeah. I'm your investor, so I know.
So it was only in Lucknow. We did a Bareilly project as an experiment outside, which we co-invested with our group company, EIPL, Eldeco Infrastructure.
Basically, sir, my question was that when we compare with companies like DLF and companies like Supertech, so in that comparison, my question was, you have any chances to go beyond northern India?
No, so we are neither comparing ourselves with DLF nor with Supertech. I'm sure those companies are doing great. So the thing with this company is this has historically been, the mandate is to only work in Lucknow. It has been very transparent that this works in Lucknow. But as we have discussed in the past as a strategy, the balance sheet is becoming bigger, and the opportunity, we have not been able to get the great opportunities in Lucknow. So we are actively considering, after the success of Bareilly, to move out of Lucknow. Now there are always questions about whether it will get merged in with the unlisted company, whether some other form of co-investment model will emerge. So something will emerge in terms of co-investment. This company will move out, but depends on what kind of opportunities come. But at some point, definitely, this company will start investing outside Lucknow. But as of now, it doesn't have anything other than Bareilly.
Okay. And my last question, if you can answer, please.
No, it's not under consideration as of now, because yes, I understand that there is a school of thought that says that it will enhance trading volume, but it does nothing to enhance shareholder value in our opinion. But we have taken a suggestion about the split or bonus. We'll deliberate internally. But as of now, it's not.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to participants that you may press star and 1 to ask questions. The next question is from the line of Mr. Divakar Pingle from Christensen. Please go ahead.
Just want to step in here. My question was, I've been listening to calls from the other real estate firms that have kind of gone earnings calls. The mood generally seems to be buoyant as far as how they perceive demand to be picking up. Pankaj, I think the question to you is, in the micro markets that you're working in, how do you perceive that? I mean, this is more a very broad-based philosophical question. How do we kind of expect demand kind of coming out over the next 2 to 3 years, and how do you see that benefiting Eldeco in Lucknow?
So it's a very broad question. I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer it, but just I'll throw some data at you. At our peak, India sold about 4.5 lakh fresh apartments or houses from the developers in the year 2012. That number has been steadily declining over the years, and it touched its nadir year before last at about 2 lakhs. Last year we sold 2.5 lakh apartments or fresh units. So all this talk of the market being buoyant and the demand coming back, bear in mind the numbers. It is a rise of 25% from the year before, but still way below our peak. So I think it is safe to assume that we'll quickly hit our peak. And the other thing is that by all means the market should have grown organically because of all the trends, urbanization, rising income. This 4 lakhs should have become 8 lakhs maybe, I don't know, 7 lakhs, 10 lakhs a year. So we are at 2.5 lakhs right now. It has to first hit the previous peak, then it has to go beyond that. Now, if all this has to happen in the next 3 years or 5 years or 7 years, I don't know when it will happen, but it is going to happen because every other macro indicator does indicate towards it. Then what we are talking about is a quadrupling, tripling or quadrupling of the market size per se in the next maybe 7 to 10 years. By any metric, that's a massive increase increase from where we are. Now it is again safe to assume that there is another very big trend. The other trend is that till now 80% of the market was cornered by the top 7 cities of the country. But after the pandemic, something has happened. Now this is for social commentators to observe what that something is. But the data on the ground indicates that instead of 50%, the smaller cities will command 30% of the market. So that itself means that their market size is going to increase 50%. And plus the market size itself, the overall market size itself is going to settle. So what we are talking about is a massive jump in volume in the coming year. Now whether that is Lucknow or Chandigarh, therefore it's going to happen all across. All these cities are at the stage where say a Pune or a Bangalore was about 10, 15 years ago or 20 years ago. And we all know what happened there. So all these cities now are at 3 million, 4 million. And all these indicators say that it's going to be a very, very explosive time for Indian real estate in the next 4, 5, 7 years. Now, of course, there is going to be blips along the way. The third trend that I wanted to highlight was that demand is gravitating towards the more established players in each market. You put all these together, I think that there are ingredients of a good period of growth for the leaders in every micro market.
I think that's very useful, Pankaj, and heartening to note that you believe that there's definitely scope for growth. Obviously, the timing is anyone's guess. But thanks. I think the idea to ask this question was to give the investors a general feel of the fact that the market is huge and that the market is there. I mean, it's not that we're working in a small micro market. So obviously the numbers that you threw at us did give us that kind of indication. Thank you for that. I'll get back in the queue.
Thank you. To ask questions, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Ankur Gupta from Taste Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Pankaj. Pankaj, heartily congratulations, because I can see that in spite of all this volatility in the property market in the last 10, 12 years, our company has grown in a very stable manner. And I also understand that LDCO recognized that there's a huge potential in the property market overall. But I have just small query in terms of the LDCO housing on the expansion spree. We have been doing a steady profit for last 10, 12 years. What are the plans for the expansion wherein we can move from this, say, 100, 150 bracket to maybe 500, 600? So do we have something in our mind to reach to those scales so that we actually get the potential of the market which we recognize?
Definitely, Ankur. We don't want to be sitting on idle money. We want to be deploying that. You know what the return on capital employed is, and you also know what kind of funds we have on the balance sheet. So it is our responsibility to deploy that money efficiently, allocate it prudently. So we are looking for projects in Lucknow. It does take time. We don't want to get into projects which drag us down. But we are talking to landowners for a number of deals in Lucknow. And also, as I mentioned in response to one of the earlier questions, we are also looking at outside Lucknow, probably as a co-investment with our group company. Obviously, if something materializes, we'll definitely disclose it right up front. But your question, I agree with you that we've been stable, which is a good thing in a volatile market, but time has now come to grow. That point is taken.
Okay. So my next query would be if we have done such plans, is there any time horizon which we thought in our internal budgeting, okay, next 12 months, maybe 24 months, this is how we shall plan for the next project outside Lucknow?
No, that would be irresponsible for me to comment on. It would depend. As you know, our business goes from project to project. It's not like a manufacturing facility or a hotel facility that once you put it up, you have a stable revenue stream. It depends on what project you get at what time. And we don't have anything right now, so I can't make a definitive statement. But our business development teams are working on it. As soon as something works out, then it will come suddenly and it will be big. But as of now, we don't have it.
Sure. Thank you very much for your response.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask questions, please press star and 1 on your touchtone telephone. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star and 1. That was the last question. I would now like to hand the conference back to the management team for closing comments.
Thank you all. Thank you for your support, and we hope to return in 3 months' time with better numbers, because hopefully there won't be another lockdown. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Eldeco Housing and Industries, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. You may now disconnect your lines.